Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. Everybody had a good long weekend after the August long weekend in Canada. You poor American folk don't have a long weekend this weekend. You have our utmost sympathy. But welcome, it's Tuesday. Here with my special friend, Special Head Milewski.
La head special.
And you have a very special looking head, do you not? Tabernacle, mon Dieu. Anyways, yeah. Cannabis market is one half green, one half red today.
And the S&P was getting decimated all day. Decimated, big time.
Decimated S&P and gold?
Gold's over 1480. The last I checked, the front month was 1483. I think the reaction high yesterday was around 1485.
Huh.
You know, everything we said about the breakout, it's just
coming true.
You know what? Which is scary for everything. You know, why is this happening? I think
because we're right.
They're printing so much money everywhere. Central banks have got the printing presses on overdrive.
Well, and have had for over a decade.
Longer than that.
Yeah,
no, but you're right.
Actually, good point.
No, but the money thing has expanded 4 or 4.5 times since the crisis 10 years ago.
U.S.
to your point
has expanded 4.5 times, which is a percentage of the money supply. Exactly.
They're only going one way. The only reason it can go up is because.
Quickly, let's recap. Since gold was deprecated as the global standard by which all currencies are measured, in other words, as the unit of measurement for the US dollar, the G7, let's call them,
G7,
have been printing money with abandon because there's nothing to peg their currency to except relative to one another, which it means that ultimately subject to the manipulations of a rather encumbered and not a free or not a fair marketplace, which this is the result, is that the illusion of a supportable U.S. debt, in other words, if you have any delusion remaining that the $20 trillion in U.S. debt is ever going to be repaid to anyone, the market would now like to correct you by falling to pieces and the price of gold skyrocketing. And this is all just the beginning. I mean, we're in for some really interesting times. This is still the point where the majority of the people out there in the financial world think, oh, these guys are crackpots. These guys are alarmists. These guys are tinfoil cap, wooden sword waving, Chicken Littles who don't know anything about the global economy.
The sky is falling.
The sky is falling. Chicken Little. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. And the sky is falling. But that's why they've legalized cannabis, is because now it's really time to get high because the sky is falling. The sky is falling.
To mollify your fear,
right?
Smoke a number.
Exactly. Never mind the sky is falling. Get high. Play some Steve Miller. Drink some beer. Fuck that. Anyways, coming up today, we have Suzanne Garcia as the news nurse du jour, wearing, I might point out, a rather stunning tube dress today.
Tube dress?
Yes, stunning. She looks amazing today.
Tube dress.
Then, without any further mystery, we are going to have a conversation with the incoming chairperson of Halo Labs. Miss Louisa Mojela is going to join us. She is from the Kingdom of Lesotho, and I have a conversation with her about Halo Labs in Lesotho and why Louisa Mojela, who is the chairperson also of a $200+ million fund in South Africa, is partnering up with Halo Labs. And then at 3:40, Vishal Gupta joins me for an update on California gold mining, which at this point sounds like it should have its name changed to California hemp growing, because there's not a lot of gold mining going on, but there's a whole lot of hemp going on. And speaking of hemp, Jesus Christ, did you see the market today?
Hemp.
Most notably, Dan Bilzerian's Ignite Cannabis has taken a turn for the better, now trading up over $2 on the news that they've got a partnership for CBD distribution with W.H. Smith in the UK. If you don't know about W.H. Smith,
Isn't it a bookstore?
You don't
Is it a
really know
bookstore?
what the hell's going on. It was a bookstore in Canada and other parts of the world, but now it's just a bloody shop full of different products, which CBDs are about to become one of them.
Can one buy a Guinness there?
I don't believe so. There's no booze. It's not America where they serve booze with everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just want to point out at the top of this show that Halo Labs, of whom we are going to speak glowingly, repeatedly, in perpetuity, at least until the contract is over, is our sponsor and has sponsored us to produce and distribute content that speaks about them in favorable terms. Thus, we are incentivized to speak glowingly about Halo Labs. But never mind that. I encourage you to go look at Halo Labs and see if you don't agree that this might in fact be one of the world's first emerging, are you ready for a new term, Ed, that we're going to coin right here, right now?
Yeah.
Multi-state extractor, MSE.
Montreal Stock Exchange.
There's no Montreal Stock
It used to be.
Exchange.
Used to be.
Used to be, exactly. But now, that anagram belongs to multi-state extractor.
Multi-state extractor.
Multi-state
More
extractor.
than one state
More than one state,
extracting.
extraction only.
Does this apply just to marijuana?
This just applies to Halo Labs at this point.
Okay.
As far as I know, if you know of any other multi-state extractors, feel free to put them in the comment box or whatever the hell that thing is. But without further ado, here's news nurse Suzanne Garcia with today's Cannabis News.
Here's what's making headlines today. Chiron Life Sciences Corp. and Dixie Brands announced that their previously disclosed 50-50 joint venture has received conditional approval from the TSX Venture Exchange. With this approval in place, Chiron and Dixie will begin the process of commercialization of the Quida cosmeceutical product line in the U.S. marketplace, as well as the introduction of Dixie CBD-infused products into Latin America. Through the JV, Dixie will be responsible for the distribution of Chiron's portfolio of Quida cosmeceutical products in the U.S. Quida products will be broadly distributed through Dixie's established distribution network to U.S. consumers and are expected to have particular appeal to the growing U.S. Hispanic population, estimated at nearly 60 million. Canopy Rivers announced its portfolio company, TerraSen Corp., signed a definitive agreement to acquire Ilera Healthcare. Ilera is a vertically integrated cannabis cultivar, processor, and dispensary operator in Pennsylvania. Ilera's fully integrated seed-to-sale operations adds to TerraSen's growing global footprint, currently spanning multiple U.S. states, Canada, and the European Union. Benchmark Botanics announced its 100% owned subsidiary, Botanicals Green Growers Inc., has received a sales license from Health Canada. The license allows Benchmark to supply and sell finished cannabis products to provincial governments throughout Canada and through Canada's distribution and retail supply chain. Choom Holdings Inc. has signed a definitive agreement to acquire The Green Room. The Green Room is a cannabis retail store chain which has operated since 2016. The agreement involves the purchase of location assets from The Green Room, which includes 3 locations in British Columbia and 4 locations in Alberta. Harborside Inc. announced that it won 3 cannabis-related categories in the 2019 East Bay Express Best of the East Bay competition, including Best Cannabis Dispensary, Best Cannabis Deals, and Most Deluxe Cannabis Accessories. The awards were in the category of goods and services and were chosen by readers. Ignite International Brands UK, a wholly owned subsidiary of Ignite International Brands, announced that W.H. Smith, a worldwide retail market leader, has submitted a purchase order and will begin to offer under exclusive contract Ignite's CBD products at 276 retail travel stores in the United Kingdom. Under the agreement, W.H. Smith will launch with the Ignite One device, a rechargeable vape pen compatible with Ignite CBD pods and Ignite branded tinctures. Trueleaf Cannabis Corp. will begin trading today on the OTCQX Best Market under the symbol TCNNF, having graduated from the Pink Market. And that's your news for today. If you want to hear more on the cannabis sector, check out Cannabis Daily at MidasLetter.com.
Everything's working fine over here. Just to prove a point, the Midas Letter Canadian Cannabis Index, which is the index of all large cap Canadian cannabis companies, not entirely Canadian, yeah, they're all Canadian, is up 0.69%, so negligibly, we shall say. And that little positive, little glow of positivity is being driven by Aurora Cannabis as the best performer in the large cap, up 55 cents to $8.94, or up 6.56% on the day. True Leaf Cannabis closely following, up 2.44%, or 34 cents to $14.26, closely followed by Green Thumb Industries, our U.S. representative on the large cap index today, up 1.92%, or 24 cents to $12.72. Say something. Spit it out. Spit it out.
I just saw Aurora go by. Is that right? It's
Aurora.
Not Aurora. No, sorry.
Australis?
I was thinking of Afria, but Aurora's up nicely today.
Yeah. Afria is down 1.45%, or
Right.
14 cents to $9.53. Did you get a chance to dive into those financials this weekend? Well,
I had a chance, but
almost all the metrics are described in terms of adjusted net profit, adjusted loss, adjusted earnings. And interestingly enough, it turns out that the profitability was a result of a convertible debenture, which was forced into conversion by virtue of the fact that Afria's share price had dropped so low. So because the price had dropped so low, the conversion was forced, and they turned a profit accidentally because the share price dropped. Goodness gracious.
I got to tell you, you know what? And I want to make this point because I've been sort of looking at this bounce. Other bounces that we've seen, like there's been 2 or 3 or 4 really good channels.
Yeah.
This one seems to be not as strong, not as full of gusto, you know? Not as...
This bounce, you mean in the cannabis sector?
Yeah, look at you got stocks.
Feeble?
Yeah, Afria's down 13 cents.
So would you categorize this then in the class of dead cat bounce?
I knew you were going to say. I was just going to say dead cat bounce.
What other term do we have that is equivalent to dead cat bounce?
Well, how about a trampoline bounce?
Trampoline bounce is a little bit more.
Boy, did you
abusive
see
than a
that
dead
stock
cat.
today? I think it was a trampoline bounce.
Well,
Whoa!
I mean, have you seen a dead cat bounce before?
Not
haven't?
really.
Well, let me just say that they don't bounce very
No,
high.
I think you got to throw it from a long way. Assuming it's already dead, you don't really.
Do you think it bounces if it's not dead yet?
Better chance.
You think?
I think if the
actually
cat
had a
bounces
cat
a
that-
lot, you can say, obviously that cat's alive.
I had a cat that flew off the balcony of my apartment.
Was it a flying cat?
Well, it was for a short period of time. So this cat was Looney Tunes, and at the time I lived in a building at the end of Hornby Street that had balconies on 2 sides, so it had 4 balconies, and the cat could run along between each of them. And this crazy cat used to like to jump up on the railing and sprint along the outside balconies. Well, this is in Vancouver, and the November windstorms there can be particularly gusty. And one morning I woke up, and the usual pitter-patter of cat was not to be heard. And I got out of bed and I couldn't find the cat, and I looked over the edge and I looked over the other edge and I didn't see anything. And I said to the security guard, I said, "You just see a little gray calico cat outside any of the doors here?" He says, "No, but I found a big flat one in the middle of the intersection about half a block down the street." So apparently the cat caught some air in the most profound of ways.
Caught some air.
Caught some air.
Like it got little wind under its sail.
Well, it got blown into the next street.
Like a flying squirrel, you know how they open up? And
Well, I'm pretty sure that this cat was doing everything in its power to avoid bouncing. And I was not there to see if the cat bounced. And much to my broken heart at the time, the cat was, in fact, terminal in the middle of the street.
if the cat bounced, you could have hired it as sort of like the muscle at a bar, because it would have been a bouncer.
It would have been a bouncer. I could have hired it as the bouncer at a cat bar. Or a cat house. It could have been a bouncer at a cat house. Anybody get any trouble, you're going to have to talk to the bouncer cat here. Oh boy, do we digress or what?
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, Chiron Life Sciences. How about that?
Yeah,
they're
they're-
now about to start selling their product, and I like to disclose here that Chiron is a client. So
Yeah.
yes, we do produce content for them. But I want to point out that they are now about to start selling their Quita products in the United States. Which means that, wow, they're gonna take part in the CBD staking rush that is currently underway in the United States and Europe. But that's pretty cool.
Look at the gap on this S&P here. Look at these gaps on the way down.
I was just having a conversation. He's got another channel.
You know what?
going
Because
over
it's
there.
now I figured out how to do it. I thought I'd want to show everybody. I got a nice
But just
red color here.
mid-sentence, without anything up for the audience to watch. So Ed's got his channel over there. I've got mine over here. You can watch whichever one you want. Where's Ed's? I don't know. You're going to have to search to find it. Ed, did you have a good time this weekend? Did you take it easy? Did you party? Did you smoke any Mary Jane?
Oh yeah, I smoked some. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I smoked a little of the
Hoochie coochie?
the pink Kush.
Pink Kush? Well, it's not like you to know what you're smoking.
No, I know.
Or care, for
Well,
that matter.
the only reason I knew is because it was in big letters.
Pink Kush?
Yeah.
And was it pink?
I don't know if it was pink, but I can tell you, it was
Potent?
potent. Pink Kush was potent.
Did you notice an appreciable deterioration in the level of conversation after that?
Oh yeah.
So that's what I hate about all this wacky weed these days. It's like, if you smoke some of that stuff, suddenly you're having a great old time. Next thing, the whole room goes silent.
I know.
And everybody's staring at their belly buttons and thinking, boy, I wish I hadn't
Yeah.
smoked so much of that.
I
Now
wonder what
really feel
what the
goofy."
perfect ratio of CBD to THC for suave banter.
You're talking about the suave banter ratio.
The suave.
Well, you know, the
The
problem.
suave banter. So
1-to-1.
So I think they should put a third indication on these things. They should have the THC level, the CBD level, and the suave banter level.
The suave banter level. Well, but the problem with that is it's not
Everybody's
so much
different.
about the ratio as
Yeah.
it is about the dose overall. So you can have the right ratio. If you smoke too much that stuff, you're still going to be a catatonic, misanthropic motherfucker, and there's no point in talking to you anymore.
Are you talking about the dope dose?
That's the dopey dose.
The dopey dose.
The dopey dope dose. That's
Sounds like a square dance. And do-si-do.
dosey do. Anyways,
Okay.
again we digress.
Again, yeah,
What is our show about again?
marijuana.
Oh,
You know what?
cannabis.
We shouldn't digress. We should digress.
Notice that your tailor dressed me again today.
Yeah.
We're both in
I know.
green again.
The shirt, I think sometimes you might want to borrow this to throw over that shirt just to...
Throw that over this?
Yeah.
Well, this is nothing
No, no.
special. That's Under Armour. I was actually partying near that guy's house in Baltimore last week.
He lives in Baltimore.
Yeah.
I thought he was from Portland.
No. Under Armour guy lives in Baltimore.
Why? Okay. Real estate's cheap there, I understand.
Well, especially after the president shit all over the poor place. You know, it was funny. As he was shitting all over Baltimore, I was in Baltimore for the first time ever. And I'm watching this and like, this is surreal. Donald Trump is shitting all over Baltimore. And I'm here in Baltimore for the first time in my life. And I had just finished saying, before I'm watching this on CNN to Alan, I said, this is one of the most beautiful cities in America. I can't
There
believe
you
that
go.
Baltimore's got such a bad rap.
I think he heard you.
Well, anyways, obviously we were in a part of Baltimore that was beautiful, and obviously there are parts to any metropolis that are less affluent than others,
Sure.
usually as a result of some marginalizing influence of society generally, and so show me a city that doesn't have a shitty part of town.
If you go to a list of, say, the 10 most unattractive cities in the U.S., Baltimore is usually on the list.
Really?
Well, I think not unattractive, but let's say, you know, there's certain cities they say, you know, wow, San Francisco, for instance, right?
Yeah, see, I see that about Baltimore.
Portland. Well,
Because you know what?
Baltimore sounds like it should be a great
Well,
city.
you can tell when you walk around. So if you go, like I stayed on the waterfront in the south part of Baltimore,
Right.
and all we did was walk around the waterfront from this hotel in both directions, and you could see that it had been recently sort of redeveloped, the whole area, except for certain islands of like old architecture. That just made the place quite charming architecturally. Great restaurants all over the place. a fantastic view of the harbor. Annapolis was right across the way, which is where the U.S. military has its big shebang.
Yeah.
So there was these big boats there that,
Is that like for Army or Navy or something like that?
well, I would think being boats, it would be the Navy. Though technically it could be the Marines too.
Okay.
Doesn't the Marines travel by Navy? Or do the Marines just swim? That's why they're the Marines.
You know what? I don't know.
Anyways, not to offend any of service members who might be watching, we're just merely having fun at your expense. Don't start shooting at us. Lots of shootings down there in the United States this last weekend, eh, Ed?
Yeah, the Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
El Paso, Texas, Dayton, Ohio, and then in our own bar here in Toronto, some guy walks in and lights that place up. Then on the bridle path next to our buddy's place,
Dana.
Yeah, some guy gets shot in the driveway.
Well, you know what? That might be
without naming names.
No,
Ed.
but that might be a. Didn't Barry Sherman live around there as well? Like.
No, he didn't live in the bridle path. Wasn't he way up around 400 and Steeles or something?
I don't know. but I mean, look at the point is being. Look at you start to see. Somebody gave a finger to somebody in London, Ontario back in May, and the guy turned around, pulled out a gun, shot him right in the face.
Dead?
London, Ontario. No,
killed him.
No, the bullet went through and came out, did some damage to his vertebrae, which is very problematic, obviously. And just because he gave him the finger, he came out, came back. He was driving recklessly, shot the poor kid, 21-year-old kid. And you know what? I think in a car, I think you should just keep your mouth shut. You just don't know who you're dealing with.
Or confiscate all the pistols in the hands of all the lunatics who don't have half a brain.
But guns are illegal here, and the guy's got a gun.
They're not illegal. You get a permit.
I know.
Which means that some other goofball who decides whether you're actually worthy or not.
Right.
So the whole thing about, people walking around with guns, it's like, okay, this is how we preserve our liberty.
I know.
One word for you, motherfuckers, drone. Guns ain't going to help you when the drones decide to take you out if you're a problem for the government of the day. So this whole thing, this is just getting out of hand. And all you cowboys, all you inbred motherfuckers out there who just think, oh yeah, everybody should keep all their guns, keep walking around. It's like, one word for you, actually 2 words, fuck you. Enough is enough.
There you go.
Yeah, well,
Make sure the door's locked. Make sure the door's locked. Guys are coming in.
Well, it's not like we started insulting the Taliban.
I know, but you...
Now those guys are crazy. We have nothing but good things to say about the Taliban. Those guys are fine in our books. Right? Okay, enough of that bullshit. We had a guest, I can't remember who it is because where the hell's... Yes! Lovely. Louisa Mojela. I had my conversation with her. This is the last of our series from London. No, it's not our last even, is it? Here's Louisa.
Halo Labs is a cannabis extraction company that develops and manufactures quality cannabis oils and concentrates. Founded in Oregon in 2016, Halo has expertise in all major cannabis manufacturing processes. The company is currently expanding its operations with new facilities in Nevada and California. With a consumer-centric focus, Halo will continue to market innovative branded and private label products across multiple product categories. Halo trades on the NEO Exchange under the ticker HALO.
Louisa Mojela is joining me now. She's the incoming chairperson of Halo Labs and hails from Lesotho. Louisa, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Louisa, you are coming in as the chairperson of Halo Labs, and the reason for your participation is a company called Bophelo Life Sciences,
Yes.
Biosciences, sorry. And tell me about how this all came together.
Bophelo Bioscience and Wellness is a company that I founded in Lesotho when 2 years ago when the government of Lesotho decided to legalize the usage of medicinal cannabis and started issuing licenses. I then applied for a license, and having done that, I knew that the next step was for me to look for a strategic partner, because people that have been involved in medicinal cannabis, they have the know-how, the expertise, the management, and all of that. The first thing I did was to go to Netherlands, to Amsterdam, hoping that I will find a partner there. I met with some operators, and we're all excited and hoping that they will come on board. Needless to say that after a number of times of getting back to them and trying to follow up, they ghosted me. Then late last year, GMG, a company in South Africa, introduced me to Kiran and his team, or they introduced Kiran to me.
The CEO of Hello Labs.
Yes, CEO of Hello Labs. And we started talking, and they just took a liking. They then flew down to Lesotho. They went to our site because they wanted to see, the land and where the operations will be, done and all of that. And then we started talking in earnest, and on the 14th of June, we then signed heads of terms, to say, yes, the chemistry is there, we can get into the partnership. They then decided that they would like to appoint me as the chairman of their company, which was quite an honor for me and quite flattering, really, because it then makes me, at least to my knowledge, one of the first women to participate in medicinal cannabis listed company, actually.
And you also have or run a fund that is a large investment fund based in Lesotho that is focused on the empowerment of women in business?
The fund is in Johannesburg, in South Africa. That's a fund also that I founded with my 4 colleagues in 1994, just prior to the ushering of our democratic dispensation in South Africa. We felt that as women, we needed to do something for ourselves because we could not sit back and expect men to invite us to participate in the wealth creation. So we decided that we'll do it our own. We will come and disrupt their way of, excluding us as women. So that's how we founded the company, and it's mainly established for the empowerment of women, towards wealth creation, towards financial independence of women. And of course, we do many other social corporate responsibilities to assist the marginalized women and children, in particular to rural areas. We are doing the same also in Lesotho, and with the partnership with Halo Labs, we have agreed that 10% of our pre-tax will go towards empowering and uplifting the communities that reside around the area where we are growing the medicinal cannabis. And we also, of course, expect to employ a large contingency of women, particularly towards the trimming, because we view that women are more nurturing, they are more gentle, and the flower needs precisely that.
Nobody can argue with that. So companies are flocking to Lesotho to grow cannabis. And what is it about Lesotho that attracts all of these cannabis companies from around the world to Lesotho?
I think the main attraction in Lesotho, first of all, the government of Lesotho is the first country in Lesotho to legalize the medicinal cannabis, usage of medicinal cannabis. Over and above that, Lesotho, operating in Lesotho brings a number of myriad of benefits. One, we've got pristine climate that will just be beneficial to the growing of medicinal cannabis. We have a large, affordable labor force which will be required for the medicinal operators. And we have access to many markets, free market access entrance, because Lesotho is a least developed country. Therefore, if we want to export a product to the US, we have that free market access through AGOA, Africa Growth Opportunity. We have the same free market access to Europe, Canada, Australia, and so on. So all those are the benefits. And Lesotho, within the Southern Africa, it also has a lower tax base for companies. So all these things will be, bring big benefits to the operators.
Okay, so is the idea that you will produce and extract EU GMP certifiable cannabis products in Lesotho and export them to Europe and other places in the world as pharmaceutical inputs, or will you produce pharmaceutical products in Lesotho and export those to markets?
I think for now, in the beginning, we are going to do the extraction of oil and concentrate and export. Then in the foreseeable future, that's when we can begin to explore manufacturing in Lesotho.
Okay. And is Lesotho a populous country?
Like,
I mean, how many people live there? What's the population?
the population of the country, it's about 2 million people.
Okay.
Yes.
But it's surrounded by South Africa.
And it's in the belly of South Africa, not even surrounded, it's right in the belly of South Africa.
Huh. Interesting. I've never been to that part of the world
It's
ever.
small. Lesotho and Swaziland and Botswana
Okay.
are the smallest countries in that region. And we are all neighbors of South Africa.
Okay, well, it's exciting, and I thank you for your comments and your input, and I look forward to another conversation with you, hopefully in Lesotho.
Yes, you must come and visit our small country. It's a friendly country.
Great.
Friendly people.
Awesome. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Make sure you never miss a show by subscribing to our YouTube channel and clicking on the little notifications bell. If you're interested in getting monthly actionable investment ideas in the cannabis space to your inbox, subscribe to the newsletter at MidasLetter.com. Wow. Louisa, she's impressive, eh?
Yeah, that country's right smack.
Yeah.
Like, it's totally surrounded
By?
South Africa.
No shit.
Well, you don't usually see a country surround a country.
Unless you're taking it over. Well, I mean, like, if I was surrounded by another country, I would surrender.
You know what's having a good day today that we've mentioned several times, or certainly talked about it when you were away last week, was the ticker IAN, Ianthus.
Ianthus.
Ianthus is up 5% today.
What's their story?
I don't know, but they're sticking to it.
That's that's Hadley Ford, who we haven't actually seen in a long time. Kind of went quiet there for a while.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what happened to him.
I like to point out some of the winners.
Yeah, good on you, Ed.
Thanks.
Yeah, nice of you. Let's see, in the the other index that's got my attention because it's up 0.22%, not really, kind of up, is the small cap index. No,
Yeah.
It's the venture index. The venture index is up, and that upward trend is led by not Elixir, not Calyx, Lift & Co., not really, 28%. Pharmaciello, look at that. 5.97, up 48 cents to 8.74%.
That's really an interesting one. That was one of the last ones to go public that I remember, but with a big hoopla.
Yeah. Hempco, Food and Fiber, 76 cents. James E. Wagner put out an interesting thing today saying that they got 200 some odd grams per plant, which is a unique way of measuring.
200 grams per plant, which would be roughly
grams per plant.
6 ounces.
6 ounces per plant?
Per plant.
My God, that's pretty good.
Jeez.
You think? No, actually, let's see. Where did it go? I saw it. I did.
You thought you saw a putty tat.
I thought I did. Here it is. Right here. Checking. Processing. Where was that metric? Oh boy. Big long press release and I can't find it. Oh, 261 grams per plant. Versus an average of 204 grams per plant set out in the corporation's interim financial statements. See, this is the problem. If you do a per plant measure, it's like, well, how many square feet does your plant occupy? And that's why grams per square foot is the default standard, because that gives you a better sense of how productive the facility is in its entirety. When you say per plant, it kind of leaves you thinking, scratching your head. And
What
going,
if they're
well,
really big plants?
well, exactly. If they're really big plants, that means they're really old plants, which implies that the number of cycles they're getting per year is inferior relative to those that are growing really small plants for the same amount of output. Mind you, it's hard to compare also because nobody is putting out their output in that way because it's not really relevant.
So you're saying this isn't a relevant way in your mind to put out?
Well, in order for it to be relevant as a comparative metric to the rest of the industry would have to be putting out their metrics so you could compare. Also, for it to be relevant, you would have to stipulate the age of the plant and how many square feet it occupies. Because if you're telling me that you're going to grow X number of grams per square foot or per plant, but the plant is taking 6 months to grow and it's occupying, 20 square feet to get that metric, well, that's different than if it's one plant occupying 1 square foot. See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? There's not enough information here for that to be a relevant metric, so I just find it mildly amusing, actually. Anyways, yeah, so either Nathan needs to convince the rest of the industry to report in grams per plant, or we need to stick with the grams per square foot.
Is a gram of, in dry measure, because they talk about a gram of gold as being about a 0.03% of an ounce. Yeah, I think there's 31 or 32.
32 point some odd grams
okay.
in a troy ounce.
Is this the same, or this 16 ounces?
28 ounces in a 28 grams in a standard metric ounce.
But you also know there's 16 ounces in a pint, right?
You just missed that. I said metric ounce. There's no such thing.
A metric ounce?
Metric ounce.
Oh, I don't get all your jokes.
Well, thank God for that. 28, well, here's the interesting thing. That's also actually a good measure. It's like how many grams are you reporting? What is the moisture content? Because most weed, optimum storage relative humidity content for weed is about 62 to 64%. So if the water content of a given biomass is 62% water, then how do you relate that to the actual growing space biomass on a per square foot basis? It's really hard to do without some, fancy mathematics and lots of consistency through that whole process. So this is why even the representation of so many grams per square foot, at the end of the day, is really quite comical that people look at that number and take it seriously, because there are so many variable potentials in there. How dry was the weed? Are we talking about all-in cash cost per gram of production, including G&A, including depreciating assets, is there some weird science math going on there? So really, all that matters is earnings per share.
Well, at the end of the day, you say it and we laugh, but that is probably one of the metrics that have stood the test of time.
When people use the term, what's the bottom line?
Earnings per share.
The bottom line is earnings per share, because actually in a spreadsheet, it is the bottom line. That is the bottom line. It's not a metaphor, it's the real deal. And there's a reason for that, because that's the bottom line.
And that's basically the name of a bar where a lot of brokers used to go, the bottom line.
Right. In their case, it had a completely different meaning.
Yeah.
Which we're not going to opine about right now, with PDAC coming up so soon again.
Really?
PDAC's coming again. Anyway, so let's take a quick look at gold, shall we?
All right.
And the reason I want to look at gold is because gold is exhibiting all the signs that the global financial marketplace is on the brink of another major downstroke.
I just happen to have a 10-year chart of the the ETF, and
Good God, say it isn't so, Edward! Put that sucker up right away for our edification.
I'm going to say it is so, and here it is. So if the people, Houston, we want to see Ed's chart. Yes, I do have my chart up, Ed. Yeah, what's going on? Say it again.
Uh-oh.
Yes, I am.
Pilot it. Ooh.
GFN Network.
Anyways,
Well, you know what? How about I do this?
gold is rocking.
Gold.
You know, we actually just signed up for the live gold spot feed with our Quote Stream Media, but I can't for the life of me tell you what the symbol would be. Let's see here. Workspaces.
Okay, I got a 2-year chart up here. So right now we're at the highest we've been in about, according to this, 7 years. About 7 years.
The highest in 7 years.
Yeah.
It's also the highest in 2 weeks.
Well, it's also the highest in any time in that period.
The highest in the last 10 minutes?
It's the highest in the last month.
So really, the highest no longer has relevance. Because every time it ticks higher, it's going to be the highest it's been in 7 years.
I know, but it's been higher. But you have to go way back.
Where's the jar of marijuana that's supposed to be right here? That's what I want to know. You want to get higher? I'll show you higher.
Yeah.
It's time that we hired somebody to roll joints from the pile of marijuana while we're doing the show so that we can be a little bit more relevant. Here we go. There's the marijuana. Thank you very much.
And you notice it's either becoming more solid and sinking
Here,
into
Ed, smell that. That'll make you feel better. Woo, boy!
What if a spider jumped up and landed on me?
Or better yet, crawled in there and laid eggs on your face. Then you'd have baby spiders coming out your ears. Do you remember that? Have you seen the show, the movie, The Sisters Brothers?
The Sisters Brothers.
The Sisters Brothers, yeah.
Jesus.
Good one. It's got John C. Wiley in it, starring as one of the brothers. The other guy, I can't remember. But look at that weed, eh? Let's just have a moment. Let's just have a bud appreciation moment.
Yeah.
Look at that. Perfectly trimmed.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that's good.
Yeah.
And as I was saying, the optimum place to store weed is at 62%. This is at 56%.
Okay,
Which means it's a little too dry. Put that lid
Put some
back
water
on
in there. That's it.
Oh, the damn lid fell apart now. Jesus.
What would you, if you dropped that thing in here, what would the water content be of this?
Drop the bud in there. Well, here's the thing, Ed. This weed
not
has
the bud. The hygrometer there. Whatever it is.
Well, it should be around 100% before it stopped working because it's battery powered.
Okay.
This weed has 0% zero potential to get you high. You know why?
Why?
Because it hasn't been heated to 200 degrees Fahrenheit, thereby decarboxylating it. Which makes it into from THCA, which is the form that the THC in here is currently present in. Although there is some THC delta 9 going on now because the process of drying and desiccation actually causes some decarboxylation.
Decarboxylation?
Yeah, it's where one carbon molecule goes missing and that's it. Boom, you're high.
Really?
I'm going to shit you not. Anyways, did you see the piece we published last week on the shatterizer and the dab tabs?
Yes.
You did?
No.
I didn't think so.
Where?
I have a shatterizer at home with a dab tab in it. I'm going to bring it for you to smoke.
Okay. Right on the show? Let's see what happens.
Right on the show, but not till next week.
Okay.
Why? Because you're out of here tomorrow, aren't you?
I think so.
You've got a couple days off coming up here, don't you?
Yeah, let's not.
Nika Dome is going to join me tomorrow.
Let's not tell the world.
Let's not tell.
She's coming tomorrow.
Isn't she?
No.
When?
Thursday.
What day is today?
Tuesday.
Really? You shit, I thought it was Monday.
Well.
Oh, that was the holiday. Boy, I got to really maybe take this away now.
Yeah, just take it away. He's had enough.
Yeah.
So, it sounds like sniffing glue, that thing, right?
Well,
I shouldn't say that because I really only sniffed glue a few times.
really? That's, well.
No. Never did.
Our guest, our viewer, Cypher9 says it's the tree of life.
Yeah.
Haze is good, can't text 100 degrees outside. Whoa. They're having a conversation amongst themselves indoors where there lots of retraction going on. Must be a pretty randy experience out there. Yeah, anyways, so what else is going on in the cannabis space this week? What? Oh, yeah. Hey, you know what?
We've got
I've got a gold company, speaking of the price of gold, that is turning into a cannabis company. Now, this might not sound too untoward for Canadians.
But without even changing. You didn't really have to change.
There's no change of business here.
Yeah.
It's actually one of the first, I think this is the only mining and cannabis company combined in one, where they're actually got a mining project underway, but they've also got cannabis grow operations happening. Here's that interview with my guest, Vishal Gupta. California Gold Mining Inc. is focused on continued development of a high-quality gold resource on its 100% owned Fremont property in Mariposa County, California. The property consists of an entirely private and patented land package totaling 3,351 acres of historically producing gold mines with a state highway, PG&E electric substation, and abundant water present on the property itself. It lies within California's prolific Mother Lode gold belt that has produced over 50 million ounces of gold. California Gold is also investigating greenhouse-based propagation of high CBD industrial hemp seed on the Fremont property. California Gold Mining trades on the CSE under the symbol CGM. California Gold Mining CEO Vishal Gupta joins me in studio now. Vishal, welcome back.
Thank you very much for having me again.
Vishal, let's have an update. What has happened since the last time we chatted with California Gold Mining?
Well, last time we chatted, we were in the process of launching our hemp operation on our wholly owned Fremont gold property in California. Since then, we've had a bit of a pivot towards Illinois, and the reason for that is the California Department of Food and Agriculture was a little slow in rolling out its registration, its sampling and testing protocols for industrial hemp cultivation in the state, and we had made a commitment to our shareholders that we would be cash flow positive before the end of this year, and we decided that, while it was taking a little bit longer for the California State Department to come out with its registration and sampling and testing protocol process, we would look for an alternative source, or I should say an alternative property to launch our hemp project on. And about 3 months ago, we got an inkling that this was the case, and we started searching for an alternative piece of land, and we came across this fantastic piece of property in Illinois, just about an hour, 10 minutes west of Chicago. And this property, 82 acres, we completed the purchase of it about 2.5, 3 weeks ago, and that will be the new launch site for our industrial hemp project.
Very cool. So tell me, what's the pivot to Illinois about? Is that to get an Illinois sort of license and everything?
Well, everything. Where to begin? So first thing is that our exclusive cultivation partners, Delta Valley Hemp, are actually based in Chicago. So it makes a lot of sense for us to be, involved in the neighborhood where they are. Our operating costs for our hemp project would be much lower in that sort of a scenario, rather than trying to set up a satellite office in California and having people travel back and forth. Here, the Delta Valley Hemp folks can go to work in the day, during the day, come back home at night, and it's going to be very convenient for all the parties involved. That's one of the reasons why we did this. The second reason is that this piece of land is actually very, very fertile, and it's got a corn score of between 160 and 195 bushels per acre.
Wow.
And now that's one of the most fertile pieces of land that we have come across.
Sure.
And it gave us the opportunity to actually see if we could take advantage of the outdoor cultivation season in Illinois for the calendar year 2019. Initially, just in California, we were looking at only doing our industrial hemp seed propagation process that was greenhouse based.
Yeah.
This property provides us with the opportunity to take advantage of the outdoor cultivation season in Illinois and see if we can have a biomass cultivation crop that can be cultivated, for the remaining months in the summer of 2019. The third thing, of course, is that Illinois is very, very fast in processing hemp licenses. The hemp license that we obtained took 3 business days flat, and
Really?
The hemp license is not acquired from the county, the local county. It's actually acquired from it's obtained from the State Department, Department of Agriculture, which is at the state level, and the state is very conducive to hemp operations being cultivated within its state boundaries, and so we were quite fortunate. We found this property at the right time, and for all those 3 reasons, this was a perfect pivot for us.
Wow, so that's amazing. So now you're going to be producing seeds, you're going to be producing hemp, and obviously CBD from that. Now tell me that you're going to be producing gold, and I'll be buying another whack of shares.
Well, before I go there, let me just explain the business opportunity right now that we see on the outdoor cultivation side.
Okay.
So we got our license. We purchased 130,000 seedlings of very high CBD content seed. We've got the COAs that prove that the same strains have been used for some very high CBD cultivation before, and so 130,000 seeds have already been planted into the field. I just got some pictures a couple days back. The plants are looking very, very healthy. We're expecting our harvest to take place at the end of September, early October. Now, initially, we were thinking of just selling the biomass, and that biomass itself would be a pretty big revenue generator for us. But right now, we are in the process of negotiating a toll processing contract with 3 separate, extraction isolation companies that are out there already operational that would be interested in doing business with us. So, for a fee, we could get our biomass processed into CBD isolate or full spectrum extract, and the sale, the revenue that we would generate from the sale of full spectrum extract or CBD isolate would be 4 to 5 times greater than what we could generate by just selling our biomass. So we're in the process of negotiating those contracts right now. The expectation is over the next week, maybe 2 weeks or so, we'll come to a contractual agreement. Of course, yet to be approved by the Board of California as well, of California Gold Mining as well. And once the board approves it, we have a contractual agreement, then you'll see some pretty positive news coming out on that front as well.
Sure. So toll extraction is readily available throughout the United States, I guess, at this point in the cannabis industry?
Absolutely. We're also, as I said, we're looking at 3 separate toll extraction facility providers or, technology owners that are looking at giving us some sort of a contractual agreement here. But we're, plan B would also be to actually see if there is any possibility of us purchasing our own wholly owned extraction isolation facility as well. So we're doing some work, some homework to be done over the next week to 2 weeks or so, and after the next 2 weeks or so, we should have a very clear path in front of us, and we'll be coming out with a press release to that effect.
Great, Vishal. Well, let's leave it there for now. That's a great update. We'll have you back soon. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you very much, James.
If you like the show, you'll love our website. Visit us at www.midasletter.com for interviews with key CEOs, cannabis news, and to subscribe to our newsletter. Anyways, we're back, and that was good. Cannabis, hemp growing in Illinois, seeds at the Fremont property in California with exposure to gold. If they, that's quite a. That might actually be one of the most advisable investments because you're covered on everything that's hot. All it needs is a little lithium, although lithium's been in the crapper since the prices have been dropping.
Well, they say there's so much lithium around, and it's funny how, they're talking, natural gas, not to change the subject, but to make a point, natural gas was $4.80 last winter. Today it's $2.05.
No.
Yeah.
$2.05.
Because they had that vortex back in November and December. Polar vortex and the certain parts of the world that matter with natural gas. The point is, the volatility is so crazy, and you know what? If the polar vortex does this thing, natural gas could go from $2 back to $4.80.
No kidding.
And if you could parlay it properly in the futures market, you can make 10, 20 million bucks.
No. Really?
I could show you how.
Wow, I can't wait. Are we going to learn on this show?
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
We're going to have so much fun.
We're going to get so rich.
Look at this. Look at ACB now is 908, up 70 cents.
What the hell is going on there?
What's going on?
Little insider trading, maybe? You never know.
Are their earnings about to come out?
Geez, I don't know. I haven't actually been following Aurora lately. Do you know why?
Why?
Because there's so much other stuff going on.
Yeah.
Have you noticed how many new cannabis deals are coming through this shop lately?
So think about what you just said. You've only got attention for so many deals.
A finite amount.
And if more and more deals come,
you get confused.
You get you might say diluted.
Jaded.
You can only spend so much time on one thing. Mm-hmm. Very few people have the ability to say, this is the only deal I want, I'm going with it.
Well, yeah.
Bruce Linton did it, but with great success.
Well, yes. There is a little bit of time and place perfection going on.
No, no one's nailed it like he has. No one.
That's true.
Okay.
That's a good point.
So I mean, but
Actually, and there's many examples of people trying to recreate a first primary success, and almost none of them have
never
done
happens.
so.
It usually only happens the way it happens.
Once.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can only be the first company in an emerging industry once.
And look at, there's a lot of other deals out here, but they're not getting the same attention because there's that many more deals. And there's, apparently there's, you talk to some of the guys here that know the capital markets, they say there's another 100 deals coming out the gate.
Yeah.
Another 100.
Just on the CSE.
Just on
the CSE.
No,
never
the
mind NEO.
CBD.
CBD on the CSE, on the OTC and the TSXV. Now you really got some trouble. The TSXV, actually, is now in a position where it's losing a lot of business to the CSE and the NEO.
Yeah.
And I think there's some small bricks starting to be defecated over there.
You know what? And so they should, because they've been egregiously expensive in what they charge. I mean, they think...
And their reputation is one for a lack of cooperation in times where expediency is requested.
I think we had a meeting this morning, the gentleman said about how, now that it's electronic, it's the same. Where do you care where you look? If
don't care.
If there's action, you don't... If
it's trading,
I need a
liquid,
special guy to give it this.
I need my TSX guy at house number XX.
Wait a minute. Neo? Neo who?
Yeah. No, and nobody cares.
No, now, it's like, it's what the internet's doing to everything. It's leveling the playing field.
Now, Neo.
New.
Which is now.
Now. Neo, new,
Why
now.
did they take the O and make it an E to differentiate between new and now? Because aren't they essentially the same things?
New.
Isn't the item that is new the now item?
Yeah.
So really there's no difference between new and now.
New now.
New now, new now, new now, new now. That's what that's
What
the
kind
noise
of
an
a
ambulance
creature? What
makes
kind
in
of
some
creature
joint.
would you say makes the sound new now?
New now?
Think of a good answer.
New now,
Listen.
new now. An ambulance. An ambulance. An ambulance goes, me now, me ma, me ma, me ma. No, that was it. That's
That's
a
a
joke
that's
my
a-
auntie told me from
that's a-
way back when I was a kid.
That's what a donkey goes. Hee haw, hee haw.
The punchline is me ma, me ma. A donkey goes, hee haw, hee haw, hee haw. Boy, this is really getting inane.
Donkey Kong.
Do you know what the word inane means, Ed?
Empty.
Huh?
Means empty. Inane.
No.
Yes, it does.
No.
I say
Doesn't
it
it
means
mean silly?
inane means
Frivolous?
well, an empty brain, an empty head. You'd have inane comments.
I want proof. I believe you not.
Okay.
Believe you not, it does.
Inane. I say it means it's silly. Inane.
Okay.
Okay. I
Yeah.
agree.
Hey, while we're talking about that, don't forget to hit the little notification bell on the top right, or I'm going to come over there and beat the snot out of you. No, just kidding. Did I say that? No, please hit the notification bell so that you can hear when we're on. No. It's better like, hit the notification bell. Otherwise, you ain't going to find out when we're on next. We don't really care.
So it starts silly, foolish, stupid, fatuous, idiotic, absurd, ridiculous, blah, 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 all the way down. The last one, empty-headed.
So we are inane.
You're a little bit brighter than me.
The Inane Show.
Brighter.
Inane Show. Anyways,
Inane.
Coming up this week, big news. Ed is taking Thursday and Friday off, which means I'm going to be here with the lovely and talented Nika Domi.
Does Nika know yet?
I don't know if she does, but Nika, if you're listening, I'm hoping you can join me for Thursday and Friday's show. You did such a good job with that.
Just raise your hand and say, I'm in.
Aye. Anyways, what other big news have we got? Well, Fraser's going off to Colombia to shoot Chiron's latest grow op down there.
Chiron seems to be making some nice little strategic moves.
Chiron
and the revenues
is going to be
I
big.
think the revenues will ramp, I think.
Well,
quickly.
That's just it. If they're starting to sell Cuida products in the United States, they're already in Colombia. Soon they're going to be in Europe and the rest of South America. This is probably why Altacorp Capital
I think we
put
should
a
do
$6 price
an
target on it.
infomercial for Kita.
Cuida? An infomercial? Have
like
you
it.
tried it?
Yep.
Makes your skin very soft.
Well, my
suave. Suave, as they say on Espanol.
And suave banter.
Suave banter.
I love that
As long
line.
as you don't
That's
smoke
your-
too
that's
much
your
of
line.
this.
Okay.
Too much of this, you can become a catatonic, misanthropic, antisocial, untalkative, uncommunicative.
ACB's acting like there's news coming.
Yeah?
So-
Is that a prediction?
I'm just saying.
Okay, stop. Ed, let's cut to the chase. People
Okay.
want to know, what's the next stop? What's the next stop that's going to go up?
The next stop?
The next stop. Stop. I'm having a...
The next stock that's really going to move is the one that's got much more buying than selling.
Oh, which one is that?
In the marijuana space?
Yeah. Boy, you don't want to go out on a limb there, do you?
You know, it could be any of them. They all seem to get a move. Like,
Really?
look at Afria. It looked like SHIT last week.
No kidding.
And then bang.
I want to say hello to some of our audience here. Oh, there's Donnie. Hi, Donnie. Geez, what the hell are you doing in the chat room? Look there he is. And there's Nika Domi. Well, I guess she knows now. She loves, oh, you love the smell of that, don't you, Nika? I can't wait to see you on Thursday. Anyways, Cypher9, good show. Thanks, Nanu. Hey, you're leaving already. Wait a sec. We got one more minute. What the hell's going on with you?
Yeah, we got...
Hello to Toro Loco. That's a new person, I think. Have we seen Toro Loco? I like that. Crazy Bull. Popist says Bruce is a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yeah. Well, maybe,
Not gonna argue with you there.
maybe...
Flippy Gat 3. Hello, Flippy Gat 3 says, bring on Cam. You know what? We'll get Cam back on in due course.
I didn't see a lot of chickens over at Bruce's place, so...
Oh, Aurora gave kick-ass future guidance today.
What?
That's what they're saying. So there was a conference call. Aurora gave kick-ass future guidance.
Yeah, that would do it.
All right, let's get Cam on here. Anyways, the little bell in the top right of your screen, touch that little thing because that's going to give us points with the old YouTube search machine. If you haven't checked out our playlist called Midas Letter Site Tour Videos, Midas Letter, what's it called now? We changed the name of it. Midas Letter Cannabis something. You should check it out because it's really cool. And we have site visits. We have a site tour of CanTrust before the shit hit the fan.
Yeah.
That's worth watching. Anyways, thank you very much for watching today.
Okay.
We'll be back tomorrow with another show. Bye.
So long.